Building on core control from the preliminary exercises of back lean and forward leaning T, one can start to challenge gravity a little bit more by bringing the spine now to a relationship of gravity that is parallel to the floor. To arrive into this position, you can begin positioning the body again underneath the plumb line. And here we use the hammock as an alignment tool. The hammock is already telling me where vertical is as it's dropping with gravity to its plumb line point. So as I start to bend the knees, I'm going to make sure that I don't disturb the placement of the hammock, that this doesn't become a lean forward and a weight shift into my forefoot. So here the weight will remain a little bit more into my heels, and I'll sense that the occiput is staying above my tailbone, above the coccyx. I'm descending down to that degree that's achievable for my calf length and for the Achilles length. I'm looking to just keep a squeeze between inner thighs, a gentle lift of the inner arches of the feet. From here, if it's comfortable for someone's shoulder range, they might come either to directly in front, 45 degrees, or overhead, and get a sense of dropping into that endurance for the legs. As we really build up that power into the legs, we're checking that we have equal weight into both legs, that we're pushing very slightly the sitting bones to the back of the knees and allowing the elevation of the shoulders here, so we continue to draw length through the side waist. As we start to find our tip forward, we're going to again hinge from the hips and gently straighten the legs. Still, the tailbone is aiming to be roughly over the heels, and I'm going to look to lighten one heel. Today I'm using my right leg. Once I feel stable in the left leg, I'm going to slide that toe tip back behind me, rotating knee and thigh to the floor. I'm keeping my gaze at 45 degrees. It's really tempting to want to look up and see your instructor. So remember to cue your students to keep that length through the back of the neck and to maintain that axial alignment. Once they're here, it can be enough to just float and lower the leg. Already working on a lot of stability challenge here. But if someone is more able with their stability and strength, they might gradually work to a straight leg, seeing if they can find their balance into the full aeroplane posture. This is a beautiful pose to really build up control, and you could choose to move in and out of a knee bend, really building up that single leg control. Or you might like to introduce a sequence of mobility, getting more into your core activation. As we curl, we could invite a pressure down through the underside of the armpit and an imagined sensation of catching a ball between thigh and ribs, and then visualizing the curves of the spine being pulled long. To get a little bit more hamstring and glute control, you can think of first squeezing heel to buttock, as if you had a balloon on the back thigh you wanted to pop, and then getting that sense of curl as you flex nose to chin, pubis to navel. This is an opportunity to move through as many repetitions as someone feels strong and stable. When you're preparing to transition to the second side, the feet again return to the floor. We look to feel that gentle pressure of the sitting bones toward the back of the knees and return to the awkward chair, or Utkatasana if you're using a Hatha Yoga term. When they're ready to transition to the second side, they can go for it, but you might like to give them a little break and take them into that back lean to connect once again into that sense of support from the hammock before attempting the second side. When we start to add momentum and again another level of control challenge, we can move from the back lean to that forward leaning T, to that aeroplane position by inviting again a transition of weight from back to front. This time I want to feel, as I'm in motion, the weight shift come into one leg, and the preparation now to lift my other leg. Again, you could choose to just get them to stop and pause, or if their control and integration was your goal, was our focus here, then you might like to get it to move a little bit more fluidly and hit straight away into the aeroplane. Be mindful that the hammock is there again for alignment. So rather than me hanging into it with my pectoral area, resting on the hammock, my aim is to remember the feeling I had in back lean of drawing the breastbone in and up into the wrap, of connecting the rib cage to the pelvis, making sure the back hip hasn't dropped, but it's feeling aligned as best as possible with a level sacral bone. And I'm reaching from my inner heel to the back wall and from my crown or top back corner to the front wall. So again, an opportunity to add in some active mobility where you're really working into your core to stabilize. You're working through that standing leg to build up more and more strength and stamina, particularly in that glute med. And everything here could be done with a little micro bend in the knee of the straight leg, of the standing leg, particularly if you had a client that had perhaps a hyperextension issue or any other instability in the knee that they were currently working with. When you return, to stabilize once again with both feet and pull equal length through the spine is a lovely balancing sensation. And remember, you could always choose to bring them back to rest into their back lean.